It's certainly been a difficult 3 days, especially for this broader community. I have to say, a lot of the reality of the situation has hardly begun to sink in, but I'm very grateful for the strength that Lewiston has shown and for the leadership that has been shown across the board on the state level, on the national level, and even on my college's own smaller level.
And how shocked were you? How unusual are these kinds of events? I mean, for us sitting here in the UK, this is just too much to even comprehend. But are you getting used to this kind of thing in America now? It seems to be relatively commonplace.
You know, when these things occur, it's hard to even begin to think about them. I think for myself, and I can speak from my own experience, I go into a different mindset of thinking about, making sure the people around me are safe, making sure that the community around me is supported in whatever way that is possible. And, discussions around whether or not these things are more commonplace, it's something that's, important to think about, but something that for me and for the people around me who are watching these events unfold haven't begun to think about.
What happened, actually, as far as you're concerned? When did you first hear about the shooting? And obviously, at what point did you and your friends decide the only thing to do was to lock yourself away?
Definitely. I first heard of the events while I was having dinner in the dining hall building. This would have been around 8 p.m., if my memory serves me correctly, on Wednesday night. And it was not our own choice to stay locked in. Because it was an active situation, we did want to stay in the building when we first heard of the events. But not too long after, campus safety forces had encouraged us to stay locked in, and eventually a formal lockdown was put in place. And a friend of mine stayed the night in the dining hall building.
And Jaden, what makes these events even more chilling is the normality of it. A guy walks into a bowling alley and then a bar, both of which he frequented, as we understand, and just randomly taking out people, one of which was called the world's best father. And as those images surface, the raw humanity of this really kicks in, doesn't it?
It really is gut-wrenching and horrific, and there is so much unity in this community and across this nation in how horrific these events are, and there's no way around that.
I think we in Britain are always shocked and taken aback when these terrible shootings happen, because we think, why don't they do something about banning guns? I don't know what your feelings are about guns themselves, but has this experience changed your mind at all?
These events are very fresh, and all of my thoughts and efforts have been with the community, with the victims, making sure that my friends and everyone else that I know in the area has been accounted for. It's an important discussion to be had. It's an important thing that I myself will need to think about as a voter. However, I think these events are very fresh. And I'm not in the headspace to be able to, make hardline decisions about these kinds of policies. And I don't think now is the time for me as a member of this community to be discussing those issues. And my concern is, supporting the victims' families, providing community aid, making sure that hospitals have the resources that they need. I've been coordinating and speaking with students about, donating blood, attending vigil services, and raising money for the victims' families at this time.
Does it, do you think, give the families and those involved, and you yourself, you're involved, you're part of that community, and clearly you're doing your bit. Does it give you any solace to at least feel that the man is dead now, and you might be able to get some sort of closure, at least to this terrible incident?
Definitely. I think that even though there is a lot of relief as the lockdown that this community has been under has been uplifted, and that we know that we are safe and that this, crazed individual is not on the loose, does bring a sense of security. However, these events aren't processed immediately, and there's still a lot to be processed, and the reality of these events haven't fully sunken in. And I think it'll take time for this community to heal and for those directly affected to really come to terms with the reality of the events that unfolded these past few days.
I mean, you're speaking most eloquently, and thank you for that. But to a certain extent, to me, you sound as though you might still be in shock. Do you think you are?
I think I am. And some of that might be due to the nature that I have spent the last 3 days not in my own residence building. I just got back to my own residence hall about an hour ago when the lockdown was uplifted, and I'm currently wearing the clothes that I was wearing 3 days ago. I haven't shaved, and so, and a lot of that is just the timing that all of this ended up being uplifted. And so a lot of these events are really, really still fresh in my own mind, but I am grateful for this community and the friends that I had that were, we were all able to support each other through this very difficult time.